Welcome back to another installment of the live blitz chess ASMR style. This time we have a slight alteration since I am slightly drunk. I just came back from a night on the town with my friends for some chess. And I thought, let's make a video out of it. I got a game, but I have made my first drunken mistake. This is a 2-minute game. I would have liked a 5-minute game with a 2-second increment. I'll about this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is 2 minutes with a 12-second increment, so I ask for a rematch or a new game, and I got one. Because I'll Sicilian, this is actually quite cool. What's that? I can't remember the theory of this. I'm supposed to take it, that's the correct move, but I don't know the follow-up. I'll take it. I think it's unsound. So he's trying to get momentum, but I will just leave this pawn, I think. And push in the center slightly. I don't believe this opening. I'll just develop naturally. And he defends the pawn. But I have an opportunity to pin that knight now. So effectively putting it out of the action. So I'll just go here. So now this, he takes. And I could recapture with the knight. But I like my knight, so I think I'll put another piece in play. The queen. Because she would also be attacking the pawn and be on a very active square, because I really believe, and this might be the beers talking, but I believe that my opponent has misplayed this opening severely, and that with the correct play I should be able to gain an advantage. And you know I do like those advantages. I do. It's interesting to be on the receiving end in chess and having to defend, but having the advantage is also quite cool. So I can take his pawn with my queen now. I think I have a lead in development, superior control of the center, and I'm also slightly alright. Should I take the pawn? I think that's a pretty good move after he developed the bishop. The bishop is quite strong on the diagonal, also defending the pawn. So I'll just take like this. And of course I'm threatening a check now with the queen. And it's very early to have the queen. So committed. Ideally, Alright, he attacks the queen. That's a principled thing to do, but I can get her out of the way with a check. So I'm just doing some calculation, and I think this should be safe. So this is check, and of course I'm worried about he will kick my queen around with a lot of threats, but I think I have the advantage here because I can play this pawn up. Now this does a number of things, the most important being that it disconnects the communication, sorry, it's the beers talking, the communication between the bishop and the pawn. So the bishop is no longer protecting the pawn, and my knight is attacking my bishop, I'm sorry, is attacking his knight, and it's only defended by his pawn on b2. On some square is only protected by the pawn. I'm sorry, it's not protected by the bishop because the bishop is pinned to the king. So I can initiate a sequence of moves. Just let me calculate. I'll take the knight. He'll take with the and I'll take the pawn. This should work. So I should be a very happy camper. So I take his knight. He takes with the pawn, and I take his pawn in the center with my queen, and I have established a nice pawn in the center, backed up by a nice knight and a queen that has been developed without costing too much for me. So I'll take here. So I'll take with. The thing is that being slightly ever so drunk, I'm doing this now, but I could be missing something really obvious, so don't make fun of me, please, if I happen to lose this game. Alright. Yeah. Alright, he wants to block me out, but I want to get some more pieces in play. So this move was, of course, to allow the bishop to get in play, and I see a very nice pin for the bishop right here. So now his bishop is pinned and his knight is pinned. My queen pins his bishop to his king, and my bishop pins his knight to his queen, to his king. Sorry. Alright. I can't talk, but hopefully I can think. He should probably move his king out of the way. Yeah, and he did. So he can't castle. His pawn structure is effed up. His pieces is in disarray. So I think I should be conservative for a couple of moves because I have a positional or strategical advantage. So, excuse me. So if I just develop according to the normal principles of chess, I should be able to gain a very clear advantage. His problem right now, of course, is that the damage I have done. Yeah, he attacks my queen. I'll just drop her back to c7. Just being cautious and conservative. And the thing I'm talking about here is that the damage I've done to his structure looked like, for instance, his king will never be able to castle. That's irreparable damage. His pawn structure is effed up because, like, the two pawns in front of the king can't be protected by any other pawns, so they are isolated. That's irreparable damage. Whereas any problems I might have, I can just spend a couple of moves and they will be fixed. So I think being conservative for a couple of moves is a sensible way to play this. And I think I'll just castle sort of in the conservative, safe sort of strategy, because I don't want anything to go wrong, because this game is strategically won, but I can still lose if I allow him to mess it up and create some tactical implications. So he'll probably try to push his pawn on the H file, and I will, yeah, he did that, and I'll respond with H7, just block it like this. So now it's time to get at his king. So let's see what he does. Notice I'm still blocking out both of his bishops. One of his bishops, yeah, of course he wants to get rid of that. So I do? I could do a bishop trade. He wants to get rid of his bishop because it's a bad bishop and my bishop is good, but I'll play this because he'll take my bishop. I'll recapture with this, with my knight, and his knight will be forced to go to like a terrible square. And this benefits him slightly, but I think it was a pretty good decision for me. So I'll recapture, and his knight will go to some terrible place, and then I can continue my attack on the king. Oh, alright, he attacks the pawn. I have to protect that, of course. Of course I have to do that. Well, I'll just protect it with the pawn, and this knight will be bad forever. So he traded his bad bishop for a bad knight, and he attacks my knight. Where could I go? He tries to get active, but I'll just go here. Should be no problem at all. So he had a bad bishop before, and he tried to trade it for my good bishop, but then he ended up with a bad knight instead. Alright, he does some interesting stuff here, because the queen could now take my h-pawn, because yeah, so I'll allow that, because if I get the check in on h3, I will. Yeah, there's a sequence of moves I can show you that if he falls for it. So I want him to play queen takes h6. I can't recapture with my pawn because it's pinned to the king. He didn't fall for it, alright. But I'm not sure what this really does. Even I can just take that pawn. I should be winning easily now. This has gone tremendously well, actually. Thinking about me being not completely sober, but I'm really enjoying myself. Like, I get this really relaxed feeling that the beers can provide sometimes. Yeah, I'll go put this check in, so he has to play like that. And I'll just grab that and then recharge with my other knight, I think. So his defenses are really growing thin. For instance, look at the knight. His knight on the A file, like it does absolutely nothing. And his rook is not very good either. I'm talking about the rook on the A file. Alright, he comes in with the queen. I should be able to finish this off. If I go here, I'm threatening the rook, and everything is protected. Oh, yeah. Let's try another game. D4. You've seen this before. Alright, and this is all very standard. Yeah, I think I'm going with the mainline stuff. Here, you've seen this before. It's the King's Indian defense he's playing. Yeah, mainline. I think I'll just play e4. And perhaps if you've seen my earlier videos, you'll know that I have like a sort of ready-made plan against the opening that he's playing, which would be to push my h pawn and sort of automatically develop a lot of my pieces. I would like to put my queen into play and put my rook into play without moving them, thereby saving a lot of time. So that's my plan. Alright, he attacks the center. He's playing this very correctly. I should just push the pawn, I think, in this center and continue with my plan. Yeah, so at this point I think just h5. I have to be careful though, because a slight misstep when I'm playing so aggressively could easily cost me the game. Alright, he's blocking it out, all of this stuff. So I'll pin knight to the queen. This is very, very, very similar to what you've seen in many of my other games. It's a sort of a pet line I've developed myself. Alright, that move, I'm not sure that move is doing too much actually, because yeah, I know this knight move looks ridiculous, but it's actually quite powerful. Alright, so I think that's a bad move. He goes. Alright, I'll continue. This is the point of the knight move. So now that pawn is actually protected by the knight, yeah, and the bishop and the queen. So you can see how I'm getting all of these pieces into play without moving him. Yeah, the queen hasn't moved, but she's almost in play already. So I'm saving a lot of time. So I'll just chop that off. I think with the knight, all the bishop. I prefer to get the knight away because the knight is not good on a2. The knight. Is there any reason not to take with the knight? Thinking, no. Alright. I could take the pawn, but I could also play knight. I think I'll take the pawn first, like this. And then I will be... Oh. Should I be really bad here and play this check? Oh my god. Now you see the rook that hasn't moved. It's really dangerous now because he has to move unless he wants to block with his own rook, and I'll just take that, I think. And then if he doesn't do that and he plays king to the side, he'll play to the h file, either h8 or h7. Yeah, he did h8. And now the rook is actually, and I just need to get my pawn out of the way, and I'm attacking his king with my rook without the rook having ever moved. So I'll just push like this, and there's, the queen is protecting it, so if he takes it, I'll just take with the rook, and he can't take with his queen, because I'll take with my queen. So both the queen and the rook, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I talked about. The queen hasn't moved and the rook hasn't moved, and he resigned because it's checkmate. I'm playing him again. Alright. Will he play this weird? He did play this weird opening, but I beat him last time, so I'll take again. And let's see, because I think I'll just take and then I'll play d5, attack his pawn in the center and ask him, how well did you do your homework? How well do you know this opening? Because I'm going to come at you. I'm drunk. I'm having fun. Me and my mates, we really had a good time. So I'm up for it. I feel powerful, So all this is the same. Oh, this is a new move. I'll have to do a little bit of calculation. Perhaps just take here. Or maybe not. I could develop the queen. I did that last time. That was very effective. Now I'm threatening his pawn. And he's defending the pawn. That makes, makes sense, but bishop's not really, it's pretty passive there. Pretty bad bishop he got there, so I think about, developing my own light square bishop and putting it outside my pawn chain, then playing e6, and just doing like this. Very simple, easy stuff. Then playing e6. I'm not sure why he's playing this opening. He's playing for tricks, I think. He wants to, he probably has some tricks, but I just play sensible moves and there's no tricks. I'm just having a really nice position. So I can play e6, I can take the pawn with the queen, that would be check, I can take with the knight, I'll just do the check, I think. Everything's good, I'll play e6, develop my bishop. I'm not sure where my other knight should go, that I haven't moved yet. Not sure where that should go, actually. But it's the same combination of pieces, like the queen and the knight and the bishop. That's like in the first game, I think. if my recollection is worth anything, that's what I'm trying to say. My God. Right, he's in check, and I have this combination of pieces. The bishop does one thing. It moves in a particular way, the knight in a different way, and the queen in the third way. And they're like in combination. When I'm able to combine them like this, very, very powerful. So I could take the pawn now with the knight. He would recapture with the bishop, or he wouldn't, but that is only thinking a bit here. Alright, he attacks the queen. So what do I do? I think moving the queen, and I want to be aggressive here. I want to prove that his trick opening isn't working. My trick opening worked, but his is not allowed to, because I want to beat this guy. I want to see my elo, how my elo can get. Alright, he's just, that's way, I'll just take here. His rook infiltration is way too ambitious. He only has like one piece attacking, and I have 3 pieces attacking. So my attack is stronger. So he has to defend against my attack. I don't have to defend against his attack. Alright, the queen will have to move. She'll go. Well, where will she actually go? Where will she actually go? I think perhaps she's kind of trapped. I like playing this guy. Like he tries for very early aggression, and then I just play like 3 sensible moves in the opening, and then I can just go on a rampage just coming at him with all available pieces, because it's a fundamentally unsound way he's playing the opening. He's losing on time now. What is this? Oh, but that doesn't work though. He's attacking the queen, but I can take his queen. And then when he captures my queen, I can recapture his bishop with my bishop. And I will be winning. I might even have a stronger move than that, but that's winning. Alright, let's look for see if there's anything stronger. Oh, he didn't even want to finish that. So I could play here, and if he took my queen, I think, he could of course play the check. So these are like the two possibilities he had. I would win in both variations, so. Alright, let's have another game. And oh man. No. I'm way too drunk for this. So you see, it's my move now, and he moved 2 pieces, and I only moved 1, and that shouldn't be possible. But what happened was I moved the pawn 1 square instead of 2, because the mouse messed up somewhat, and then immediately after I taken that move, before he moved, I moved the same pawn 1 square again. So that it then interprets that as a pre-move. So when he played a move, I played the pawn 1 square forward. So I used the first 2 moves to play the pawn 1 square at a time. That's really stupid. So I guess effectively I'm playing as black now, because I gave him a tempo for free, so like he is ahead in the move count. But so you see, this whole plan that I'm playing, I'm missing 1 move. I'm not sure I can play the same. So the same position like this. We had this position in the first game, but I was ahead 1 move because I didn't mess up. And this time, it'll be very interesting to see if he can do something with this handicap. For instance, now I have to protect this pawn. I didn't have to do that in the first game. So he is trying to utilize his advantage. I'll just drop the bishop back. How do I claim any sort of advantage from this position? It's just sort of this opening only really makes sense if I have some aggressive ideas, but since I'm down a tempo, those aggressive ideas doesn't really work if I have to protect my e-pawn all the time from the attack of these 2 knights. I guess there are some drawbacks to drinking lager, and well, what did I actually drink? I had some lager, I had like a chocolate stout. We have a lot of sort of microbreweries in Copenhagen that make like only 5 different beers and maybe makes 1,000 of each beer, and then that's it. So you have, like, one of my favorite bars is just called Øl, which just means beer, and then they have, like, I don't know, like 200 different beers in there. And I know the bartender, so don't tell anybody, but I don't have to pay. So I occasionally, get slightly drunk, which will sometimes affect my chess, in that I will play some really ridiculous opening with moving the pawn 1 square at a time instead of 2 squares. Why isn't he moving? Is this position really so hard? I think after losing, alright, yeah, so he spent a lot of time, then he played like a conservative move. Should I just... be cautious here and see what could possibly happen? I mean, I'm not playing for aggression, because that doesn't work when a tempo down. But I think my structure is pretty sound, so I think I will simply ask him, I castle my king to safety, I have a sound structure. What are you going to do? You lost 3 games. Do you want to win? Well, then you have to attack. I'll just defend. And hopefully he'll be, overexcited and make an error. He's trying to reposition his knight. I should keep that out. I don't want it to get into the game. So I'm defending for once in this session. That's, that's something new. Well, he has the advantage, of course, because both of his bishops are potentially pretty good, while my light squared bishop is pretty bad. Right, that knight move, I don't particularly like that knight move. They say a knight on the rim is dim, and it's sort of, if I just move my knight here, my bishop is now attacking his knight, which, if I take it and he will recapture with a pawn, will open up his king. And okay, now his knight is on a good square, but I could perhaps consider taking it or developing my knight back into the game like this. And if he takes my light squared bishop, I'm actually pretty okay with that, because he didn't do that, right? So I would be okay with that, because it's a bad bishop, because it's blocked in by my pawns. He's actually coming after me, so I take here, and now his bishop has opened up. So both of his bishops are very good now. His dark square bishop are piercing through the center, and I'm not sure. I think I might be in trouble. Right, I have to interfere with the bishop, because otherwise he will take my queen. And now he will have to activate. Perhaps his rook. His rook on the corner on a8 is not doing so much. So remember this, when you are attacking all of your opponent's pieces. Alright, that's pretty good. Just have to think. Perhaps I think I should just take his bishop. Thinky, brainificate, thinkify, just taking like that. Alright, so what I was trying to say was, you are attacking all of your opponent's pieces. So if you don't attack with all of your pieces, you will be a minority attacking a majority, and that goes wrong more often than not. And right now his rook on a8 is not participating in the attack. Not sure what that move did. I think I have halted his attack because now this knight has been repositioned to a beautiful square, and it has like two very nice outpost squares on c6 and e6, you can see, and I'm attacking his rook, and if he chops it off with his bishop, I'll just recharge it with my other knight. So I think I might be able to hold this. I think his attack was a bit premature. If he had just taken the time to get his rook in the game, I would have had a harder time defending against his attack. Alright. So, and this is the square I was talking about, one of them. Attacking the queen. The knight can, the only piece that he has that can ever attack this knight is his own knight. He can of course attack with the queen, but it would be like really stupid taking it because it's protected with a pawn. So any equal trade would have to be with his knight, and I will just recharge with my own knight. So these knights, my two knights, are now superb. They are in his position. They cannot really be kicked away, and I'm ready to go to e6 with my other knight, just completely dominate him and actually turning the attack on its head and use his force against him. Alright, he wants to trade queens. I think that's okay, because after this he will have no real attacking power left, and I just have to play according to my plan, and his plan of attack is sort of impotent now without the queen, and I now have these really beautiful knights, threatening pawn, threatening all kinds of stuff, threatening a check with the c6 knight. Alright, he's trying for some stuff here. So, do I take that? I think I could just push my g-pawn. Brainificate. I'm actually not too concerned, because, you know, he might take my pawn, and I won't recapture if he does. I'll just use his pawn as a shield, because even though that really is a double-edged sword, it has the like the upside that he can't take his own pawns. Alright, so he really wants, of course, to trade knights. I don't want to allow that, because my knight is superb and his knight is not so good. So I'll just capture here, and so now he captured the pawn, and I don't think I will recapture, because he can't capture his own pawn, so it's like a very strong shield for me, even though it really is a double-edged sword, because it's you know, it's also a sort of a bone in my throat. But I'll just capture his rook here, and there's no defense. I mean, he has no attack anymore, because like the pawn he's attacking me with, it's potentially strong, but I'm hit with a whole rook, and this doesn't do anything. I'll just move my king, and he of course hopes to wants to make a new queen, but my back rank is defended, and he resigned again. So 1932. I'll say GG to this guy. Thank you for the games. That's a personal rating record for me. I got to go to bed now. It's a new day in the morning. I think this went really well. So bye you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't, miss a lot of easy stuff just because I'm drunk, but I managed to win 4 out of 4 games, so I'm really satisfied with that. Questions, comments, suggestions, whatever, on YouTube, and cheers mates. Peace out.